Hello and welcome everyone. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes until everyone joins us. So I'm going to be turning my camera off and my mic off until 7. Thanks for joining. Hello everyone, thanks for joining. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes for the rest to join us. Can everyone see and hear me? Can you just give a thumbs up or react so I know that I'm being seen and being heard? Yes, okay, brilliant. And let this session be interactive. So this is our third webinar. So you can all just write in the chat, what you do you have a specialist interest? I'm guessing a lot of us are GPs. Well, most of us are GPs. So if you have a specialist interest, where in the UK you're signing in from, what do you do, and also what you want to get from this webinar. It'll be just really interesting to know. We're just waiting a couple of minutes and then we'll start. I'm going to try to put my WhatsApp on mute. 1 second. What is that? There. I can see some of the messages coming through. Do you know what? I'm not going to do too many things at once before it all crashes. So I can see, just having to read through the chat. So I can see Nadia is from Manchester, interested in dermatology and aesthetics. Excellent. Nadia, you really joined the right webinar because I've got amazing announcement at the end. We've got a really great partnership. So yeah, if you have any other aesthetic or dermatology GP pals, then definitely invite them in because there's going to be a really big collaboration with someone you may know. So that's really, really exciting. So I'll announce that towards the end. And I can see Alessio, Gypsy in sexual medicine, psychosomatic neurodivergence, based in London. Hello, welcome, Alessio. And I can see Sophie, GP with specialist interest in functional medicine and lifestyle medicine. Excellent, excellent. I'm really pleased. And that is it Ashfaq? Am I saying that correctly? Gypsy in musculoskeletal. Gosh, so many specialities, so diverse. I love it. I love it. Excellent. Welcome in. Okay, so I think I might just shoot off. Actually, I might just start and just let you know that this meeting is recorded. I'm going to send the recordings out. I'll probably put it on YouTube and send the links out via the what's it called, the forgetting my words again. You know, I always forget my words because I do this very, very, very late. So I'll send it through the newsletter. So I'll send everything through. So I can hear somebody. Someone can turn off their mic, only because this is being recorded. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And then we can start the presentation. Feel free to ask questions throughout. Screen. One moment, my computer's so slow. Give us a second. Keep chatting in the chat box, chat amongst yourself. This is how we actually, this is how we network. Chat amongst yourselves, and I am just going to my presentation up. Okay. So I can't see you. I can't see the chat box anymore. So I will go through the presentation and I'll take questions afterwards, unless you want to just sort of shout out if you have a question as we're going through it. As you can see, the computer is just thinking about it. So hopefully everyone see my screen. Moderator Chuck's with us, so let me know, Chuck's, via WhatsApp if you can't see my screen. But I'm just gonna get started. Okay, Doug. Fab. So I think you're with me now. Okay, so thank you for coming, and thank you for your time. So this is a presentation about Thanks Docs, which is an Uber for Doctors platform. That's the way I describe it. And this is a talk about how we work and also the partnership that Doc is basically here to empower GPs with choice. We want you to work flexibly. We want you to do what you love doing best. So that's why we started Thanks Doc. So I'm just going to, the agenda in terms of what we're going to cover today is a little bit about us and how we work as the Uber doctors and also as helping GPs start their own private clinics and why now is the best time. So people that have tuned in previously, I always go through the sort of same agenda in the beginning because there's lots of new people that join us that don't really know who we are or how we work. And then the second half is going to be like the new stuff, the new content. So we're then going to talk about some of our partners. So we have a Dr. V that we're going to be talking about and our partnership with her. Also, we've got our interns that are brand new to the company. They've been with us, I think, a month now, or 3 to 4 weeks, and they've been working really hard to secure partnerships. So they're going to just tell you some of the exciting partnerships they have in progress, so that who you will be working with on the ThankStop platform. And then we have our amazing Jill, who runs a clinic, a chiropody clinic. So she'll be talking to us because we'll be working with her. So she'll be talking to us about her experience and the types of services that are needed in her area. And then we're going to go into, we've got a special guest, Dr. Eve. I'm so sorry about the noise. Can everyone still hear me? I want to close the windows. It's a bit noisy. One sec. Okay, that's better. And then we're going to go into private clinics and what is a secret sauce for standing out. So we're going to have a special guest, Dr. Eve, who knows all about how you can stand out and deliver your message with clarity and to attract patients to your clinic. So that's what we're going to be running through. I'm just going to minimize this. Okie doke. Oops. Okay, so who are we? So ThankStop is the only digital and physical doctor on demand service in the UK. So we're digital and physical. So that means that we provide telehealth services, so online consultations, telephone consultations, WhatsApp communication, and also physical services. And we do physical by having locations within the pharmacies across the UK. And that's how we're able to expand and to be and able to offer our services throughout the UK. So we're both digital and physical. So what do? We match doctors with businesses who need doctors. So we're a business to consumer, a B2B2C platform. So we're not direct to consumer. We match doctors with businesses who need doctors. And there's actually quite a lot of businesses that need health services and doctors to provide medical services to them. So what do we really do? We want to empower GP to work flexibly, to be valued, to be well paid, and to avoid burnout, because we know there's a lot of burnout going on amongst GPs, especially now with the locums and what's no jobs, so unemployment or underemployment for the locum GP. So we actually want to just empower GPs to be able to be valued, do what they love doing, and avoid burnout. So about me, so I'm a GP. My name is Linda. I don't think I even introduced myself. I just started. So my name is Linda. I've worn many hats. I'm a GP. I'm a locum GP. And in the past, I've been a GP supervisor. I've run my own skin clinic in Harley Street. I've provided clinic consultancy, so for other people who wanted to start up their clinics. So I've helped around 10 to 15 businesses start their own clinics, including things like IV, like vitamin clinics or trichology clinics. So I've helped a lot of clinics start up. I've dabbled in properties. I've launched my own CPD course. So I was teaching people, because my specialist interest is dermatology. So I was teaching clinicians how to treat skin of color, especially doing things like chemical peel, which is a procedure that resurfaces the skin. And I've also done cosmetic formulation. You can see there in the top right-hand corner, me, that's my skincare product. So my previous skincare brand was called BAME Skincare, and I went to like many exhibitions, and you can see some of the pictures here, and I think in the bottom left corner, that's my the ladies that have all passed their skin of color course and chemical peel course. So I've done a few things, and I think that stands me in good stead in terms of why I've actually wanted to push forward and to start ThankStop. So how do we work? So we work in two ways. We work as a Uber for doctors model, and we work as a private clinic model. So you can do one option or both options. So in terms of the Uber for doctors model, doctors sign up to our platform and they get pinged jobs. So you can sign up to your platform. The platform's going live next month, and you can toggle on and offline or online, and you just basically get pinged jobs in your local area. So it basically works like the Uber model. Your jobs can range from anything, so something for a quick 15-minute online appointment to providing a 3-hour private menopause clinic at your local pharmacy, depending on demand. So in terms of the private clinic model, we help doctors to launch their own private clinic under our CQC umbrella. So we want to get you up and running in a week. So we provide the CQC, the infrastructure, the electronic patient records, the way to do electronic prescribing. We also have a separate option, I think I touch on it later, where we can get you up and running in terms of your website in a week. So you can really go from beginning to end in a week if people are really, really like, you know, interested, and if they really want to just push forward with this model. So we help support you in that sense, and we just take away the headache of the regulations. So the Uber for Doctors model, yes, as we mentioned before, we partner with businesses that need doctors to provide services to patients. So our providers that we partner with does include the NHS, but also private company, law firms. So companies where actually the employees are cash rich and time poor, so they just want things done quickly and efficiently. So law firms are actually some of the fastest providers that are onboarding. Also health tech companies that actually can't afford, like, you know, to employ doctors full time because they're startups, but they just want doctors to provide particular services. So health tech companies as well are partnering with us. So lots and lots of different providers that we partner with, including aesthetic clinics and online health and beauty retailers. So the services that you can offer via the Uber for Doctors model is anything that you can offer usually as an NHS GP. So, you know, in-person consultations, referrals, blood tests, private prescriptions, body scans, your earwax removal. So we basically we've partnered with providers for, you know, private like MRI scans or X-rays or imaging, or we've partnered with the pharmacies. So all of that is done for you. And that's how the Uber for Doctors model works in a nutshell. In terms of our private clinic model, so we basically want to get your clinic up and running as soon as possible. So we've already done our CQC. So we interview everybody that's coming under our private clinic just to make sure that they practice within the remit of our CQC regulations. Also, we provide you medical indemnity insurance. We've partnered with somebody with that because we have the numbers. We can offer the medical indemnity insurance for quite low. We also help you find a clinic location from, you know, we've partnered with people that have clinic locations for £15 an hour. So what we don't want you to do is to go and buy a clinic location or lease it, and it's thousands and thousands of pounds, and, you know, your business doesn't take off and you're sort of, you know, out, you know, thousands of pounds. So what we want to do is actually help you just lease what you need. So it's like a pay-as-you-go model. So and we also do the hand holding. So we hold weekly like Zoom meetings just to check in and see how everyone's going, and just to make sure that we're all on the same page. So that's how we work in terms of private clinics. And I mentioned in terms of the website, so we have a link, I'll probably post it a bit later on, where you can actually go on our website, you can choose a template, and our tech team will just get your website up and running, and they will host it, and they'll get the you know, the platform that patients can book directly, takes payments, etc. So we can get you up and running in a week. So these are examples of our website, and you can of course customize them to reflect whatever your clinic is offering. So if it's, you know, a private menopause clinic, or if it's a, you know, testosterone replacement therapy clinic, so it can just be adapted depending on what you need. So you really, you know, everybody needs a website if they're offering their services, because actually 77% of patients search online before booking a healthcare appointment. They do their research. They want to find out about you. They want to know what services you offer, how much things cost. Sometimes they just want to book and, you know, not have to call. And even when I ran my clinic, you know, I put here, you know, your clinic becomes visible 24/7. When I was running my clinic, I had the most bookings between the times of 2 in the morning and 5 in the morning. Yeah, it was really strange because I actually thought people would be sleeping. But when you have an issue, like especially a medical issue, it does keep you up at night. And that's when you start, when it's quiet, that's when you start to do your research. So actually, it's so important to have a website that is actually a functioning website that allows people to book 24/7 and take paid booking. What you don't want is just people booking and not paying because they don't turn up. So we'll do all of that for you. So why are we doing this? So I think I usually do my catchphrases. If you've been to my other webinars, you'll know that I've done my catchphrases because I was catchphrase queen. So can you get this? Shout out because I can't see you. What is this catchphrase? Why are we doing this? Why now? Why are we asking GPs to launch their own private clinics? What is this catchphrase? So say what you see. Say what you see.
Writings on the wall.
Yes, yes, very well done. I can't see who said that, but that is it. The writing's on the wall. We can see the cracks appearing already, and we can see what will be happening in the future. And that's why we've decided to actually try to put something in place now, so that actually we can almost like stabilize ourselves, and we can just create something for our future and our sort of financial security. So let's continue. I guess this is the topic of the day, the new sort of 10-year NHS plan. This one was a headline that caught me from the Independent. The NHS plans vows to end 8 a.m. scramble for GP appointment. And the best part to look at is not even the article, it's actually what people are saying. And they're saying, it all sounds like something that's happened in the past, care in the community, or, hospital at home. Like, it's just packaged in a different way. And actually, people are saying that in order to offer these services, you need to train more GPs. But we're at a point where I think my next headline will show GPs are working unpaid sessions to avoid losing their license. So there's enough GPs, but there's just not enough employment for us. So really, I'm not sure what anybody else thinks about this, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath, and so we're still like plowing away at this just to give GPs another option. We always have to have a plan B. Here you can see job prices. GPs are on universal credit, and registrars are failing their exam deliberately just to stay in their training posts so they can get like a regular salary. So that's the world we're living in today. So there's definitely something that needs to change, and it goes on and so forth. This is a record low satisfaction with NHS GP services. So of course, when patients are unsatisfied, they tend to look for alternatives. And you can see here, patients are going private to escape the black hole. So a lot of patients, when they're unsatisfied, they are looking for alternative. So another catchphrase, my final catchphrase, I promise. I think I do this more to entertain myself when I'm writing my webinar than anything else. So we want you to do this. What is this showing?
Taking the bull by the horns.
Yes, yes. I think it's all ladies that are answering. Well done. Fantastic. So yeah, take the bull by the horns and just go for it. A lot of GPs, not GPs in general, I think a lot of clinicians just tend to, do courses and just sort of sit and think about it and just like literally just go for it. There's nothing to lose, just, and a lot to gain, so much more to gain than you have to lose. So I think actually, especially with this infrastructure around you, just take the bull by the horns and go for it and launch your own private clinic. And I'm all for people growing something of their own. So there is a demand for GPs, and we want you to help patients by doing what you love when you want it. And we work with partners in order to do this. So what time do we make it? 7:20. So these are some of our partners, and this is the opportunities, and these are the people that you will be working with. So just to sort of, sometimes the concept can be a little bit tricky to understand, but we basically work with a number of partners, private partners who want the doctor. So I think we have Jill first, who has, Jill is a chiropodist, so she has offers chiropody and other services. She is in a great location, and she'll talk to us about it. So her business is called Feet First. So she was one of the very, very first providers, partners to sign up, and she was really enthusiastic about the service, and she cannot wait to get it started because she says, there are so many patients coming through the door that are requesting these services. Jill is located in Wiltshire, so if there's any Wiltshire based GPs, then I think you'll probably be working with Jill quite a lot. So I am going to probably, I'm just wondering how I can do this. I'll probably bring Jill on. So Jill, you can pop your camera on and your mic on, and I would be asking you questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can see Jill.
Hiya.
Excellent. Hi, Jill. Thanks so much for coming on and for having a chat with us and the doctors.
Yeah, no worries.
Fantastic. I can hear you. I can't see you. Is your camera on?
Give me
a little wave.
Yeah, it's on, or at least I can see.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'm not sure how to use Teams. I'm not You'll highlight this video for everyone in the meeting, spotlight for everyone. I think this is it. I think I've done it. All right, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us, Jill. I am going to be talking to you about your clinic, Feet First. So just tell us a little bit about your location and what types of patients are coming in and what the demand is. Tell us what you do.
Well, I started out treating feet, and then it became feet and ears, B12, cryotherapy. So we do skin tags, small lesions, verrucas. I've also trained as a counsellor, so I do some counselling, and I do some other holistic treatments as well. So a very multi-dimensional clinic. My patients are 6 years to 105. In fact 105 and a bit, and he says I'll be 106 in October if I live that long. They are all fairly most of them are I'd say fairly affluent and still holiday a lot and all the rest of it. I'm situated between a Sainsbury's, Aldi, Waitrose, Wetherspoons. I'm in a courtyard with about 5 other businesses, bottom of the high street, busy as, and my patients are constantly telling me they are sick to death of having to do the e-consult thing. It's all right if you've got it and you're technologically able, but a lot of them aren't. They have to get family to do it, and that's not easy if they haven't got any. And someone said to me yesterday that whilst he's not particularly keen on having to pay, he's coming to the conclusion that that's what the government's driving us all towards, and therefore he's resigned to doing so. And he's just forked out £11,500 for a knee op because he got fed up of waiting.
Gosh, okay, so 11,500 is no small sum. So I'm sure, like with our £50 consult, I'm sure he'll be like happy to avoid the e-consult.
Well, this is it. I mean, the thing I think the thing is, if you are having trouble seeing a doctor and it's taking, maybe you ring up and then you've got to wait a month, 8 weeks to see the doctor. I think personally, a lot of them now, they're thinking, well, I pay £85 to have my ears cleaned out. I might as well just pay 100 quid and see a doctor and get twice as long with the doctor anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you mentioned what's happening with the Bath clinic. What's happening? Because we want to know, is there a demand for private GPs?
Well, there must be, because the Bath clinic a few years ago, I mean, before COVID, when I was going over there regularly to see a consultant, there was only 2 private GPs. And then I went up there after COVID finished and they had 6. And apparently, according to their website, they've now got 12.
Gosh.
And
so it's growing.
And Coombe Grove Manor, which used to be a gym health spa used by the doctors in the area, has now become a diabetes weight loss and retreat centre, and has been taken over by the NHS, which took over Bath Clinic so that they could utilise half of their space. So it's only half private now, really. Yeah, I think that the demand is there because they are taking in more and more. In fact, somebody in Devizes today was advertising for private GPs to join her practice.
Yeah. So there's definitely a demand where what's the demographics of your patient? So what types of patient are they? Most like elderly, or are they?
I've got pretty much a good mixture of paediatrics, Gen Z, and elderly. I suppose there's probably more of the older generation, but I'm seeing all ages, literally all ages. Yeah, I mean, it's literally, for particularly things like the skin tags, verrucas. It's much, actually, funny enough, more adults come in with verrucas than the children now.
Oh, right.
I get the children during the school holidays, and the rest of the time it's the adults. I think because grannies and granddads are having children more, they're getting verrucas now.
They're getting the verrucas. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned in terms of the patients, your patients that you see, what are they generally requesting? What demand is there around your area? Any services in particular?
Yeah, I mean, they're worried about their skin, they're worried about blood pressure, they're worried about they're worried about symptoms like they get probably blood pressure related. They sit there and they think, oh, my eyes are a bit blurry today. I wonder what's going on. Or they've got joint pain. They've got a funny little lump that comes up. It's a little watery thing. They don't know what it is, and they can't get to the doctors. So guess where they come? Knocking on my door.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm starting to feel like a little A&E at the moment. You know, some guy put he was playing with around with a carpet gun thing and put it through his thumb, and the doctor told him to drive over, to go to Bath to A&E, and he said, how am I supposed to drive over there with that in my thumb? So he knocked on my door, and I said, well, it's going to hurt if I take it out. And he said, I don't care. He said, I'm not going over to Bath. He said, just get the bloody thing out. And I said, all right, you've been warned, it's going to hurt. And then I just cleaned it, dressed it, and I said, right, do go and see somebody. Yeah, right. Saw him a week later. I said, did you go? He said, no. He said, it's fine now, look.
No, he wasn't going to. Yeah, he's fine.
He said, I'm not waiting 5 hours
they know where
over
you
there.
are.
He didn't want to wait 5 hours.
They know where you are. Excellent.
Sorry?
And you also work amongst residential homes, isn't it, with the residential homes as well? And they probably want a GP or some, they'll happily pay for private services, you mentioned.
I would think so, because I think, although a lot of the residential homes, I think, probably they've got a doctor nominated to them, and they've probably got a fairly good relationship with surgery, and surgery's probably put them first. I mean, my surgery is probably one of the better ones in the area. It's probably the largest practice around, but they're still quite low on doctors. I mean, there's and because there's more and more houses being built around us, we've got too many patients for the number of surgeries we've got.
Yeah.
And most of the doctors there are only doing 1 day or a day and a half each. And honestly, you ring up in the morning and it's like you're number 53 in the queue.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like to wait, or would you like to press 2 and we'll call you back? Sometime between 8 and 6.
Yeah, the frustration is there. The frustration is there, definitely. So you have a great way of marketing. I'm going to show the slide after, but you basically have like a TV screen in your front window with the different services that you offer.
Yeah, I've got a Healthline. It's called Healthline TV.
Yeah.
And I send the company a PDF of what I want on there. Change it pretty regularly. And because I'm in a courtyard and there's a cafe next to me, and people are sitting in the courtyard, chatting, drinking coffees, and they sit there and they watch what's going round on it, and then they come up with their phones and they take pictures of it. And
they give you a call, and they come through, and you do some newspaper adverts as well, and that drives the traffic. So I think we mentioned that actually, even if we had a GP every Saturday, you think there'll be a demand for that GP?
I think so. I mean, my sort of plan is, because patients did say, oh, would it be a male doctor all the time or a woman? And I said, no, I'd have one of each. And I mean, my idea is I'm going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The doctor's going to have it Thursday, Friday, and if they want to do a Saturday as well, brilliant. Because I'm only in twice a month, or I'll fit round them.
Excellent. No, that's great. That's great to hear. Thank you so much, Jill, for coming on and explaining to the doctors. I'm not sure whether there's any questions popping up. I'm just going to let me just have a quick look. But as you can see, as Jill's mentioned, and it's always really good to keep close to our partners and providers, because what we don't want to do is, for example, one of our GPs to open a TRT clinic near Jill, or in Jill's clinic space, because that's probably not the demand. So it's always really good to hear what the patients are looking for and asking for. So that's definitely interesting to hear. Thank you so much, Jill, for coming on, and I'll keep you posted, and we're going to definitely get there. We're getting the GPs on our database, so whoever's in Wiltshire will be funneling them to you.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks so much, Jill. Nice to see you. Excellent. So I'm just going to bring on our interns now. Let me just have a look. I think I'm going to unpin you 1 sec. So you can, you feel free to turn off your camera now. I'm just going to unpin you and then stop spotlight. Thanks so much, Jill. So in terms of our next presentations, they're coming from the interns. So the interns, they must be pretty nervous, but they are fantastic girls. And they've been girls, I call them girls, they're ladies. They've been with us for about 3-4 weeks now, and they've been really working hard to onboard some of our partners. And they came up with this fabulous idea. And this is why I love diversity in the workplace, because the idea that they came up with is something that I wouldn't have thought of in a million years, because actually it's not my lived experience. That's why diversity is super, super important. So I'm going to bring on, I think, Miriam first. Let me just double check my presentation just to make sure I have the, yeah. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. So I think we have Miriam. So Miriam would just introduce herself. I'll pop her on. And are you there, Miriam? Yes. Excellent. Welcome.
Yes, hello.
Welcome. Excellent. So if you just put your camera on so we can all see you. I can hear you. I can't see you. I'm going to like toggle through and see where you are. Excellent. I can see you. Fantastic. And I would just pin you. Spotlight for everybody. Fantastic. And are you able to share your screen, Miriam?
Actually, I'm unable to share my screen still.
Let me have a quick look. Unless you want me to share for you, because maybe I might have disabled. I'm going to just double check whether settings. Two options. Give me a second, everyone. I do apologize. I'm just double checking. I'm not really used to using Microsoft Teams. So I'm just double checking in terms of how visitors can share screens. If anyone knows, just shout out so I can just find it easier. Meeting chat, allow reaction, Copilot. Okay, I might just share the screen instead. So I might share the screen instead, my screen instead, Miriam, and then you can just put, just tell me next slide, and I'll
okay,
scroll through.
We can do this.
Okay. Was there any other changes you made to your presentation, or was it the one that I have?
No.
Excellent. Okay, fine. Let me find your presentation, and I'll share it, and then we can have liftoff. And I think I'll do the same for you, Prachi, and also Dr. Eve. Okay, so you should be able to see the screen.
Yes.
I'll just enlarge it. Excellent. So well done. So yeah, so this is Miriam. She's one, as I mentioned, she's one of our interns. What I do, because I always, when I mentioned grab the, take the ball by the horns, I also teach this to my interns, because the thing is, You have to put yourself in position of where you're so uncomfortable in order to grow. So this is not natural for them. This is like a little bit of a shock. But they've done really, really well. I'm really proud of them in terms of how much they've just grown and developed. And, to go out there and just be pitching to basically strangers and businesses, just finishing uni is a big task. So they've done really well. And so we're going to give the floor over to you, Miriam, so you can just introduce yourself and also the presentation.
Yes, thank you so much. So, hello everyone. My name is Mariam Imran. I am a development intern and I am working with ThanksDoc to help create partnership with universities. So, this presentation is all about university partnership and through a university called University of East London, and how we can provide an easy healthcare access to international students. Next slide, please.
Okay.
Yes. So in this presentation, we will discuss about introduction or a concept of our wonderful proposal on which we are currently working on, and student population, international student population in University of East London, and what are the challenges faced by these international students when they come from their countries. Next slide. So we will discuss our progress and how, and we will discuss about progress and thanks talk and GPs will be working alongside these universities, and we'll discuss why we are considering to work with universities and why we want to give an access to international students access to healthcare. So next slide is about student population. So there are 40,000 student population in University of East London, over 160 different nationalities across the globe. So when we are talking about international students, because they come from different countries with different nationalities, they face unique challenges, difficult challenges. And these challenges are yes, so these challenges are like registration with GPs. So this is quite easy for other people, but for international students, they face challenge because our first language is not English. So we face problems regarding the registration, and if we student register, then there is another problem which arises there, that is long delays for appointment, and there are culture differences and language barriers which even make very hard for students to get care or awareness they need, and unfamiliar NHS system, like for example the walk-in system, which I also did not know, and through Dr. Linda, I came to know about this system. So these are the challenges which students face, and because of these challenges, Thanks Dogs want to partnership with universities and to provide an easy access for international students to help to bridge this gap, to help them when they need. So the next slide is about a mutual growth. So scientifically, we can say mutualism, in which both of the partners will get benefits and neither of them will be harmed. So what will be the benefits for University of East London? So their reputation will be elevated. More students, international students, will be attracted because of the previous student experience, not only because of their teaching, but also because of their concern regarding the health, regarding care to their international students. And there will be benefits for GPs as well. For example, steady system of patients, which means 40,000 students, 40,000 patients have if problems or difficulties, so they will reach to ThanksDoc, and through ThanksDoc they can reach to our GPs, our heroes. So the GPs the GPs daily practice will enrich through this, and if we are trying to work on this, and if we get a chance to throw students more people, more students will comes to know about the Thanks Doc platform and the GPs who are working with the Thanks Doc. So this is all about my presentation, and we are already working with them, and we are already engaged, and hopefully we will finalize our proposal, and we can help our international students so that they can only consider their academics, and a Thanks Dog will take care of their health, and of course, with GPs.
Excellent.
Thank you so
Well
much.
done, Miriam. Excellent. You survived and you did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. I think I can see a hand there somewhere. You can unmute
Thank
yourself.
you.
I can't see any. Well done. So with Miriam, she really thought about a great idea, because I said to them, okay, these are the partnerships. These are the people that I know want to work with ThanksDoc and the GPs, ThanksDoc GPs. Do you have any other ideas? And she said, actually, international students. Thank you so much. Thomas is saying, great job, Miriam. So
Thank you.
you've done well. So she said, actually, international students, because for us, people in the UK, born and bred, and we know the system. It's very easy. It's very easy to register. It's something that we don't even think about. But international students, this is a brand new system for them. So even something as easy as registering on the GP, that's a big challenge. That's a big hurdle. So what do? They just don't even bother. They don't bother. And you're going to hear the next, our next intern, some of her lived experiences and what's happened when, I can't register for the GP. And with UEL, so we're working with the University of East London, they have a 40,000 student population, with 56% being international. So these are patients that actually are quite vulnerable, because they're here alone, they're here for the first time. Sometimes they're the first person in their family to go to university. So actually, when they're ill, that's when everything stops. You're not going to be able to study if you're ill. So they try to reach out and think, okay, what do I do? They haven't registered with a GP. They don't know about the walk-in centres. They don't really know about NHS 111. So they're stuck. So what we're doing is we're helping them by partnering with these universities to say, okay, if you're really, really stuck, just message us on this number. So our WhatsApp platform allows them to register. The international students, they all know about WhatsApp. So they'll literally just come through to us saying, I need to see a doctor, I need to book a GP appointment, and we'll just send them the booking link. And that's how easy it is to do. And especially from an international student point of view, they're used to paying for healthcare. So it's not something that they'll be like, why is it not free? Because we know here, because the NHS is free at the point of use, a lot of people don't like to pay for private care. So, but international students, that's their norm. So that's why actually Miriam, being from Pakistan, was able to actually identify that international students really have a hard time accessing services, and they'll really just they'll pay in order just to get seen and to get sorted. So well done, Miriam. That's excellent. You can mute yourself and you can turn your camera off, and you can breathe and relax. Okay, well done. Well done. That was a really great job. And we are now going to have Prachi. Yes, Prachi, I'm going to be sharing your stop spotlighting. I'm going to be sharing your tutorial, because I actually don't know how to allow access. Excellent. So is it the one that I've sent to you, or did you make any changes that you just need to send me?
No, that's one only. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, let me come out of this. Just give me a few moments. Wait, my laptop is thinking about it. Okay. Okay, I think that was it. Excellent. You don't. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Perfect. So I can hear you, Prachi. I can't see you. I can't see any of the questions that are being popped up in the chat if there are any. So Prachi, you can just shout out when you want me to press the next slide. So can you see the screen, Prachi?
Okay, I hope I am visible and audible.
Yes, I can. Yes, fantastic. Go for it.
Crossing the border and stepping into unknown is the most difficult thing one can ever face in their life. Hello, my name is Prachi, and today I'm going to introduce about Ember and ThankStock partnership opportunity. How Ember and ThankStock partnership can help international students to help their healthcare system. Next slide. So in this presentation, I'm going to tell you about who is Ember, how Ember works, and what the Ember students are facing challenges in their daily life, and how ThankStock can give the solution for Ember students. Also, why we are choosing Ember, why we are focusing on Ember. We will go and see this. Okay, let's slide.
Excellent. Well done.
So who is Ember? Ember is a private accommodation provider focused on international students housing in the UK. And Ember provides safe, affordable, convenient housing near top universities. Ember has nearly 80 million students accommodation providing in like single year all worldwide countries. And they mostly focus on UK universities like Manchester, Birmingham, London. So Ember is mostly the most preferable accommodation for international students. Next slide, please. So how Ember works? Ember is an online platform which offers verified listings from trusted landlords. It gives students opportunity to choose the accommodation of their own comfort. Like students can choose whatever accommodation they want. If it's studio or if it's like flat shared, everything they provide according to the student choices. Ember also gives 24/7 student support, which is really good. And Ember can also enhance this by giving opportunity to thank stock to partner with them. Next step. Yeah. So what are the challenges faced by Ember students? There are many challenges faced by Ember students, but mostly while focusing on three major challenges which every international student is facing. The first challenge is 62% of students are unsure about how to register GP. Like because the NHS system and healthcare system in UK is completely different from their own home country, and students are totally unaware about the healthcare system, and they don't know how to register to GP. And second major challenge is they are struggling to get GP appointment on the same day. Like for this, I also tried to get an appointment for my sickness, and I got like reply for you can get appointment after 3 weeks. So you can imagine how the student is struggling to get appointments, and even after getting appointments, it's really hard to get treatments because the treatment is really delayed. Like after 3 weeks, you will get appointment. Then after like they will give you prescription. They will tell you like you will get up. This treatment, and for this you have to wait, you have to go to this specialist, and this procedure is really lengthy, and it's not like you go to GP, you will get prescription and you will get treated, not at all. So it gives you like months, sometimes even like 6 months, and it's really like lengthy process for students, and this is the major problem student is facing right now. And the third major challenge is, I think, emergency confusion. And when you are sick, your brain doesn't work at all. So whenever students is sick, they mostly they have their assignments, their exams. So students are already struggling in their academic life. But when it comes to their health, and when they are sick, they really get like frustrated, and they don't know where to go and who to ask. So what's our solution for this? Next slide, please. So how ThankStock can give the solution for Ember students? So our solution is like we give 24/7 easy and direct access to UK registered doctors. Easy means our app is user friendly. You don't have to struggle to use that app. So the second solution for the students is quick appointments. Like within 30 seconds you can get appointments, that too with prescription. And the third major solution is online and in-person consultation as well as home visit. So sometimes students don't know who to go and whom to ask. So that time they can have the option to choose home visit from the GPs. So this is the most important part of Thanks Talk services. Next slide, please. So why Ember is a valuable partner? Ember is the most popular private student accommodation provider in UK. So Ember has international student focus. Ember has thousands of students, and Ember supports teams are mostly for getting queries from students. Those are mostly related with health issues. So they are also struggling like what to do with this. Ember has 4.7 ratings on Trustpilot, but the thing is those queries are mostly health related, so that's the only point for them to improve. Because even if they are really great service provider, there are still something you need to update with time. They also need to update with time, and right now they are also seeking something to improve their uh, accommodation qualities, and they are also struggling with this, and they are seeking solution to boost satisfaction and cut down their queries also. Next slide, please. Yeah. So what's our progress with Ember? I contacted our Ember, and uh, it was really good to talk to them, and they really gave us positive feedback. And today we got another email from them to schedule a final meeting with them, and hopefully tomorrow, this Friday or coming Monday, we will get the contract done by this week. So I hope this contract can help Ember students, thanks talk, and along with us, our GPs. Next slide, please. Yeah. So here is one thing which is a personal thing I want to share with you guys, because this is not something like I'm putting something from like business or anywhere. This one is a real story. Two incidents happened with my friends, so I want to share with you. I won't take too much long time. I know everyone is like now tired and like, wow, how what this webinar is going so long. But still, I want to share this. I hope you guys will listen to me. So these are the real stories and real struggles. Like during my study in University of Dundee, my flatmate who is from Pakistan, she suddenly fell sick and she started like vomiting non-stop, and she was unconscious. And I was so afraid. Like I was also new student here, and I didn't know how what to do. And it was, I guess, Saturday, and so the accommodation service is also not available on mostly weekends. So I was so frustrated. Didn't know what to do now, and I just called NHS like emergency contact. And what I faced was totally different. Like I was never imagined that this will happen with me and my friends. And when I called them, they started like asking so many questions. Did you give her water? And how long has she been unwell? And so many questions. Like I was unable to answer those also. And their answer was like, we will see it after like few hours, and if the condition is still like this, then you can contact us again. And this was totally unexpected, because someone is like literally unconscious and they are telling me this thing. So I just lost hope, and we thought like I asked her like what we can do now, and she just barely said something, called to her doctor from her home country. And then I contacted them. They gave prescriptions like, oh, wow, she had some medicines. I tried to give the medicines, and she like literally felt little bit well, like after 2 hours. So the whole time of 2 3 hours was like it literally too much frustrating and too much disturbing for us. And even after that, like she was not completely well, but still she uh, went through it. Like it was personal experience, so I can imagine how students are going through that. And that's why I thought like we can give students the private services, also private healthcare services. And another one incident happened with my friend. She
Oh, actually, we might just cut there just for time, Prachi.
yeah,
But
sure.
that was a really excellent presentation. Thank you so much for even
Yeah.
sharing that story. But I know now it's 8 o'clock. We just got one person
Yeah,
coming,
sure,
and
sure.
actually it was super interesting because when I was talking to Prachi around this, I've just stopped sharing. Yeah, so she was even saying that sometimes they don't know where to go, they don't know who to talk to. So sometimes they even need an advocate because we're not an emergency service. We're GP, we're private GP. So sometimes even the fact that we can just pick up the phone and say, okay, we'll call the ambulance for you because you don't even know what to do. You don't really know what people are saying, you're just in panic. So the fact that she had to call her doctor in Pakistan, really, it was just crazy when I heard that. But Prachi's not a doctor, but she was Dr. Prachi because actually she felt like she didn't know what to do. So she had to call the doctor, administer the medication. And that could have turned out, really differently if actually, Prachi wasn't sort of fast thinking. So, and that's not a great, experience to have. So actually, that's why she said actually a lot of the students would love this. Partnering with Amber, as the major student provider, they would love this because, the parents are looking for an accommodation. They're looking for safe accommodation. Yes, they're looking for the good universities, but first and foremost, they're bringing their most prized possessions. They're sending them on a plane across to the UK, and they want to make sure that they're safe. So the university has agreed to just, put like the posters, everything, and like even Prachi mentioned that they all have groups, WhatsApp groups, and they can actually post the number of Thankstock, and that's who they'll get through to you. So they'll get through to the Thankstock GPs pretty quickly. So rather than faffing around with the NHS, which is a system that it does work if you know how to navigate it, and us as GPs, we all know how to navigate it. But if you're very new, you really don't, and you're stuck, and that's literally the worst feeling in the world when you're ill or your friend is unwell. So thank you so much, Prachi. That was
Thank you so
really
much.
well done. Really,
Yeah,
really well
thank you.
done.
Thanks so
Excellent.
much.
Fantastic. So I'm going to stop sharing. And now we have, let me just, oh, yes, we have Dr. Eve. I'm not sure, have I pinned Prachi? No, probably, possibly not. And we have Dr. Eve. I can see you and I can hear you.
Hi,
so
Linda.
Hi, how are you? Thank you
Good,
so much
thanks.
for being patient with us. So this is, she's going to give us the secret sauce. I'm just going to quickly check my slides because I'm not sure whether I'm even right, like doing the right slides. So sorry, guys. Like this is taking a lot
The
longer than
slides
I
I sent
thought.
you are correct. Yes.
Yes.
On
Fantastic.
WhatsApp, yeah.
Let me just remove this. I don't need this one anymore. Fantastic. So I'm going to just skip my bits of the presentation and I'm just going to go with your bits. Maybe I can. One second. Okay, got them. Okay, so I might just have a quick chat just before you jump on, Dr. Eve, and then I'll let you know when to go because I think there was a few things that I just wanted to mention to the Thankstock GPs. my computer is so slow. Actually, I think I've been just overusing it. I think it's time to put it in the bin and get a new one. So you can see my screen. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. So we're talking about our partners, and just before Eve comes on, just wanted to talk to you about the random partnership that I had. So I mentioned, I think someone asked me a question, was saying that their specialist interest was dermatology. So I'm sure like a lot of the ones, the gypsy that have interest in like skincare and aesthetics, and especially sort of color. So this was me. I went to a trade show, I think on Tuesday, and I met Dr. Vanita Rattan. So we had a conversation, and she's really big in the industry. She's a really big influencer. She's a doctor that does like skincare and skin of color. So she's actually looking for partnership because she wants to now launch her products, which are chemical peels. And of course, we offer chemical peels in pharmacies because we do the aesthetics. So she has over 1.4, you can see here, 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube, 600,000, probably like combined 800,000 on Instagram, and I think 1 million on TikTok. So she's really big in the industry. So she's basically pushing out her product and also our services. So people are going to get to know about you and your clinics, especially if you're doing aesthetics via her publication. So we're just currently working on that partnership, and that just came across randomly. So the more people that hear about us is the more people that will come on board. So it's really important to have a clear message and to be very visible, particularly on YouTube. As you see, that's where she's growing. And I think that leads us nicely on to Eve, because she is the expert in this area. She's done a lot of work. So we had a conversation, and I thought she's perfect for really empowering GPs to launch their own clinics and just to become visible in their space and to build trust amongst patients, because that's actually how patients start to know about you, learn about you, like you. So I'm going to pop your presentation on, Eve, and just let me know in terms of like next slide when you're
Yes.
ready.
Yes.
Fab. Go
And I'll try to do whiz. I'll go through the slides as fast as I can. There will be links to contact me right in the end of the slides in case anybody needs to drop off, because it's already late in the evening. So don't worry, I believe this is all recorded. You won't miss anything. So my name is Dr. Evgenia Galinskaya, or some people call me Dr. Eve for short. Next slide, please. I'll just very quickly give you an overview of my background. So I'm a Cambridge-trained former NHS doctor. So I worked as a resident doctor, well, back then junior doctor, across various regions, hospitals, and then became a dermatology registrar, and then left clinical practice in 2012 after ST3. I then set up my own coaching practice, coaching doctors and other healthcare professionals about career development, transition to industry. I also I was a career consultant for Queen Mary University of London, as well as for the professional support unit with the Health Education England. After that, after a few years of that, I then ended up in executive search. So I was a headhunter for pharma, biotech, health tech, medical devices for a few years. And even after that, for a year, I worked in financial services. So I worked for a financial advice company which specializes on financial advice for doctors specifically. And I left that company after realizing that actually finance is not quite for me. So I left in the end of last year. And this year I'm working on my own thing. So I've set up a YouTube consultancy for private doctors and dentists to help them grow trust online so that they can fill their practices with the right patients. I have experience with 4 different different YouTube channels over the past 5 years. My main channel is called Videognostics. It was first started in 2020 as it was named something else. And the first few videos I put on that channel, they were literally just 10 videos around career change for doctors or how to approach potential career change or side hustles for doctors. So you can see this in the left bottom corner. Those videos actually performed really well, even though I completely abandoned my channel after those videos. Yet for years to come, and to this day, I still get approached for consultations and coaching just purely based on those videos, which actually showcases the power of YouTube, the longevity of YouTube, if you're in a service-based profession, including clinical practice. Now, I relaunched this channel earlier this year, and my focus, as I mentioned earlier, is to help clinicians to create impact and visibility at scale. And I'm now going to talk about the power of YouTube and why it's relevant for you. Next slide. So you will probably relate to a few of these concerns. I'm not going to go through all of them, but basically the most common concern I hear from clinicians is I don't look good on camera, or I hate myself looking at the camera, or I don't like my voice. I don't like promoting myself. I'm not an influencer. I don't really want the extra work to be added to all that clinical work I already have. I'm not tech savvy. I'm not this, I'm not that. So I worry about medical legal risks. I'm not sure where to start, what to post, what gear to use, whether it's even worth it. We are not going to talk about this today because I covered this extensively on my other trainings, including my YouTube launch part, which I will be launching in September. I'll tell you a little bit more about that right in the end. So next slide, please. But it's very important to consider these stats because we like precision as healthcare professionals, and stats speaks for itself. So 2.7 billion monthly users on YouTube across the world. 50 million of those, that's still substantial, monthly YouTube views just in the UK alone. That's pretty powerful. And an average person watches 62 minutes worth of video content on YouTube daily. And there is the statistics from YouTube Health UK that in 2023, I don't have anything newer than that, so but this will be higher, obviously, because this was 2 years ago. There were 4.5 billion views of the health-related content in the UK alone, which was already then 35% year-on-year increase from the previous year. And as you will probably know, YouTube is actually the second largest search engine after Google, and it's the largest kind of TV channel. It's even bigger than Netflix. And the other day, well, a few weeks ago, actually, the Financial Conduct Authority published a report reporting that 1 in 7 adults in the UK have a private health insurance. That's 13% of the whole population, which equates to around, I believe, 6.9 million. So that's pretty powerful, and this number is growing. So since the FCA has been keeping track of these data, that's already grown by 1 million in the past 5 years. Now, in terms of, there is a consumer platform called Which, and they looked at the most important factors when people choose private care. And 2/3 of people surveyed, and I believe the sample size was 2,500 responders, 2/3 of those people cited a clinician themselves as the most important factor when choosing private care, well above even location. Location came second at 18%. So this, next slide, please. So this really tells us how important it is to be visible and to be in the radar of your ideal patients. Now, let's look at what do patients actually want. And there is a report published every year by this organization called Private Healthcare Information Network. And the report is called Patient Priorities, Research into Patient Confidence and Choice in the UK's Private Healthcare Sector. So this particular report was from last July. And in fact, this year, it's already July, so there is a new report coming up, so keep an eye on that. But last year, what they wrote was patients told us that consultants or private clinicians, let's say, should invest in their shop windows and provide information that adds a human touch to their clinical information. So you see, patients look for evidence that clinicians really care about their work, and that doesn't only include their credentials and their publications, but also video content. And there is plenty of evidence out there online from various surveys, from various consultations with patient groups, where video keeps being mentioned over and over again as the most important factor that patients now look for when they are choosing their private care provider. Because you can imagine that people get a lot of word of mouth recommendations of private clinicians. And in fact, just the other day, I was in a situation where I was asked by my friend to help her to find an orthopedic surgeon for her son. And I activated my network and gave her, I thought, 3 really great recommendations. And she said, well, they are great. They all have credentials for this particular condition. They're even priced the same. But how am I supposed to choose? I wish there was a video on their website. That's exactly what she said. And basically, video is something that helps people, which it's only basically second best to meeting you in person. And it really helps you to feel, it helps the patients to feel like they've met you before they even set their foot through your door. Very powerful. Next slide, please. So I asked ChatGPT the other day to analyze data across most popular platforms in terms of usage of these platforms by age in English-speaking countries. Now, the big surprise to me was that young people still use Facebook. However, there was no surprise when I saw that YouTube is leading the way in terms of usage across all age groups. So now this is powerful. Next slide, please. So don't just take my word for it and don't take ChatGPT's word for it. Take the word of a private doctor who is a big YouTuber. I'm not naming that doctor, but he's well established on YouTube, nearly 200,000 subscribers. And I recently had a chat with him on LinkedIn, and this is what he said. And I kind of summarized those points on the right-hand side, but on the left-hand side, it's literally what he said. I always thought of each video as a digital asset. So these are lessons for you. So I tried to produce content that could be watched whenever, even years later, and it would still be useful to watch. So you could think of it like each video would compound on the next. Having this savings mentality helped me. So number one lesson is it's a digital asset, which will serve you many years to come. I used the comments to understand what I was doing wrong, what language they used, and what questions and worries people had, so that I could alter my next video. So it's very important that YouTube can be used for your research, how to position yourself for the best interest of your patients. I don't ever look at views, because the videos that made me the most patients in private practice are those that have very few views. I paid more attention to spikes in bookings rather than views. By the way, I gave myself a little reminder about websites. If you have videos embedded on your websites, that will dramatically help your searchability and discoverability, because Google will prioritize your websites in the rankings, because video content gets more attention from in our AI age and from Google searches. Lastly, what he says is, I figured out which videos made me the most money in private practice rather than the most views, which has become a vanity statistic for me. So ROI, return on investment, is not about how many subscribers or views you get on your channel. It's about how many patients come to you as a result of your videos. Next slide, please. There are other reasons why you should consider YouTube, even if it's not to grow your private practice, but you can be educating at scale, especially that there is so much misinformation out there, and you would be in the right position to tackle that misinformation. You could be building your personal brand. You could be building your visibility, trust, and connection, especially, as I mentioned, video is prioritized in the current AI age. It could become your creative outlet. And also it can give you career enhancing opportunities and collaborations with other professionals across the globe. Next slide, please. Oh, and there's a little comment, which is also from the same doctor from the previous slide. And he said, when I asked him, how do you keep track which patients come to your private practice as a direct result of your videos? And he said, I watched that video of you which said X, and I knew I had to come to see you. They all say it now. That's pretty powerful. And in fact, my friend who is a consultant ophthalmologist literally just messaged me an hour ago as I was preparing to go on this call. And she recently started a YouTube channel. She currently has only 21 subscribers, yet she got this message just this evening from her medical secretary. It says, hi, such and such. I'm hoping to book this lady in to see you on the 17th. She watched one of your videos on YouTube and found it so helpful. She wants to see you. And that lady is based in Southampton. My friend is based in London. I mean, how powerful is that? Next slide, please. So I'm not going to go through the 5 steps of setting up a YouTube channel. There is a lot of mystery around it, but there doesn't need to be. Basically, it mirrors very closely the journey of that you know really well, and that's a patient journey, the 5 steps. And this is something that we cover in the subsequent training, the launchpad that I'm going to start in September. Next slide, please. So I'm now going to be so I'm currently planning this group mentoring that I will start probably from the mid-September, which will help clinicians who decide to join me to launch their YouTube channels that positions themselves as a trusted expert. I will be giving you a structured roadmap for channel growth based on your individual goals. During that 6-week program, you will already publish 7 videos and have limitless, I promise you, limitless content ideas. And you will be really confident creating videos consistently alongside your busy clinical practice. If you want to learn more, next slide, please. You can sign up to the wait list. I haven't opened the registrations yet. There is a QR code for this private practice YouTube launchpad. And if you want to have a chat with me, I'm always open to tell you about my passion that YouTube is for me. And you can book a free 30-minute video call, or you can just check out my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, everybody.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Eve. That was really, really interesting, super insightful. And I really echo some of the points that you've mentioned, because actually where I work, one of my colleagues was mentioning that he wanted to book an appointment for his child, and he said, he said, Linda, can you recommend anyone? And I said, I'm not really sure. I guess they're all good, and I know sort of the consultants with Morphin's Eye Hospital. He goes, yeah, I can see them on the website. They all have the same accreditation, but how would they be with my child? How are they? You know, and that's the number one thing that patients want to know. You know, how would they get along with you? What would the rapport be like? What is your the personality like? So it's super interesting just to put yourself out there, get onto YouTube. So I'm definitely the first person to sign up for that. I'm going to also put pop a sign up link. Am I still? No, I'm not still sharing. I'm going to pop some links inside the chat, and these links will be also for your sign up. I'm going to put your LinkedIn as well there, and also, so you'll see here a CPD course to register your interest. Just say Dr. Eve, or put YouTube or something, so I'll know, and I'll just send it on to Dr. Eve. And then I'll also put the sign up for the thanks doc as well. And next week, let me just pop those in. Dr. Eve, LinkedIn. Yes, you can see the CPD courses. So that's going to be Dr. Eve's course, the launchpad that she was talking about. So if you pop your name and your details in there, because and I will, you know, I'll leave the webinar, but I'll keep her last screen on as well, so you can scan the QR codes before you leave. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure I'll see you on the other side. I'll see you in September on the launchpad, because it's super interesting, and yeah, it's good to put ourselves out there. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to put the link in the chat box. I think there's still 40 of you, which is excellent. You know, 40 of you stayed 90 minutes. I really appreciate you, and you put up with me and my slow computer. So I'm going to put the link in the chat box for the Uber doctors sign up, just so we can get the first GPs on board in, because we want to launch 1st of August. I think I said middle of August, but now we're like 1st of August. We need to get the ball rolling, especially because Dr. V has contacted me and she said, you know, how can I scale this? And I said, you know, we've got really fantastic GPs and a lot of them interested in dermatology and aesthetics. So we're good to go. So all of the derm and aesthetic GPs, and the next webinar will be based on that. So definitely bring yourselves and learn all about it and learn about what she will be teaching and the courses. So here we go. And these recordings, as I mentioned, will be on my YouTube channel. Yes, I'm going to put a YouTube channel on. So thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you in 2 weeks. And I'm going to share Dr. Eve's screen for the next 1 minute. And then you can scan whichever code's there and I'll leave the chat open. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.